In the professional world, we're kind of taught that yes is the magic word, right? It's the key to getting things done, to keeping clients happy, to being a team player. But what if that's all wrong? What if the most powerful, most strategic word you can learn to use is actually no? And this really hits on a core belief, doesn't it? So many teams, not just agencies, operate under this assumption that their main job is just to agree, to say yes to every request. It feels like the path of least resistance, like you're avoiding conflict and keeping the peace. But that path, it often leads to a dead end. Today, we're going to talk about a much better way. So let's kick things off with our first section, the myth of the constant yes. We've all felt it, that huge pressure to please everyone. We say yes because we want to be seen as helpful, as a good partner. But let's ask ourselves, is that what a truly great partner actually does? And this, right here, is the crucial difference. See, a good partner can follow directions, but a great partner, they act more like a guide. They help you get to the right destination, even if that means pointing out that the path you've chosen is headed for a cliff. They get that a strategic no isn't an act of resistance, it's an act of foresight. Okay, moving on to Section 2, the real cost of agreeing. Because a culture where you always say yes isn't just kind of inefficient, it can be downright dangerous. So let's pull back the curtain and look at the hidden dangers that sneak in when we fail to say no. First up is the danger of premature features. A client gets a new idea, asks for a new feature, and the team just says, sure. But look, it's like trying to build the second story of a house when the foundation is still wet. You're adding something to a structure that just isn't ready for it, and that threatens the stability of the entire product. Now, this one is way more subtle. A client asks for what seems like a tiny change. It's just the tip of the iceberg, right? So we say yes without a second thought. But underneath the surface, that small tweak can create massive, hidden cracks in the project's foundation, introducing all sorts of instability and bugs that can bring the whole thing down. Oh, and this one's a biggie, technical debt. You get a request for a quick and easy fix. It feels like just putting a little piece of duct tape on a leaky pipe. But that shortcut never actually solves the root problem. And eventually, that tape gives way and the pipe bursts, leaving you with a much bigger, way more expensive mess to clean up. Every quick fix is really just a high-interest loan from the future. And trust me, the payback is brutal. So, if the old model of just saying yes is so broken, what's the alternative? Well, that brings us to Section 3, the mindset of a protector. This is a whole new mandate for how we should think about our work. It's time to stop thinking of ourselves as just builders and start seeing ourselves as protectors. This slide nails the central idea. On the left, you've got the common view. The team is just an assembly line. They're order takers who just build whatever they're told. But on the right, that's the mindset of a really strong team. They don't just build, they also protect. They are the guardians of the project, its health, and its future. So what exactly is a strong team protecting? Well, first, they protect the product itself from harmful changes or premature features. They also protect the roadmap from getting derailed by distracting detours. And maybe most importantly, they protect the client from the client's own bad ideas. They steer them away from making avoidable mistakes that would hurt them in the long run. And that leads us to our final section, an act of responsibility. This is where we completely reframe how we think about the word no. It's not a roadblock. It's not a negative. When you use it correctly, saying no is one of the most responsible things you can possibly do. This says it all, really. Saying yes feels productive in the moment. It gives you that instant gratification of checking something off a to-do list. But a well-timed, well-explained no does something far, far more critical. It protects the future. It ensures that there's actually a stable, successful project to build upon tomorrow. Let that sink in. That's not resistance. That's responsibility. You have to remember this. When you push back on a bad idea, when you question a risky shortcut, you are not being difficult. You're not being a roadblock. You are simply doing your job. You are exercising your professional responsibility to get the best possible outcome. And so that's the real question I want to leave you with. The next time you're in a meeting, the next time a request comes in that just doesn't feel right, are you going to take the easy path and just say yes? Or are you going to step up and embrace your role as a protector? How will you use the strategic power of no to protect the future?